And with that, the show begins. Social chatter. Normally, I'm joined by the real host of the show. I'm definitely just a co-host. Christian does the majority of the work for our show here. He's the one that pulls together a lot of the information, the links, and all that. So I'm gonna try and take his place here today. I see we have some folks that subscribed, including my buddy Bradley and Eileen and some other folks. And Jarrett, it looks like you're in the room, but if you are, like I said, the invitation's still out there. Jump in if you're so wanting. And we're gonna talk about a few things. I'll say this: I hate being on here by myself. So the whole point of Blab is to have other people on here. So feel free to tell Little Bird, retweet everything, get some other people in here, but definitely jump in. So with that, and so we just posted the link to next week's episode, which will probably be a little more engaging since Christian will be back. But anyway, we have some topics that we want to discuss with you from the past week. Still a lot of big things happening. I'm Vincent Orlick. I'm the social media manager for a company called Plexus Worldwide. I'm also very active with Social Media Club Phoenix here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. And you may have seen some of that stuff. I was lucky enough and honored enough to be on a recent episode of Why I Social with Christopher Barrows. He was our guest on the Social Media Phoenix Blab earlier this week, and that's my whole spiel. So I'll add this too. I got the hustle mode is on. Hustle mode is on officially. The Gary V special, the Gary Vaynerchuk special. Ordered a couple T-shirts from him. So without further ado, the first thing on the menu here today is, funny enough, coincidentally, it is Blab adding the co-host feature. They actually added a couple different things per their town hall last Friday. The co-host feature, a lot of you guys have probably already seen it, maybe even used it. It's actually how we're doing this today because Christian had set it up under Social Chefs, under that account. And so that meant he had to start it. He had to get the Blab started here right now. And the co-host option enables you to add a co-host and let the co-host take over admin abilities. So he's not feeling well. He started up the Blab, added me as a co-host. He left. I have admin control. So, and I'm the host basically. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool functionality. I'm also going to tweet it out here. Social chatter. Let's throw that out there. Love the co-host thing. The other thing that was a pretty big, two things. One was the Podclear announcement where Blab announced they acquired Podclear, and that's going to be really good for a few reasons. I don't know all the reasons why yet, but that's a podcast hosting site. So for sound quality and for other different functionalities, I can only think that it's going to be a really a good thing. It's going to be really useful for people and to integrate that into the Blab platform. And I like seeing that they're focusing some attention on the podcasting aspect of it. The other thing is kind of a small thing, but it's really big. Actually, in the grand scheme of things, it's small, but for us that do shows and have our hosts, when you come on air, there's a little note that comes up. Okay, Jared, cool. There's a little note that comes up about, do you want to tell all your followers that you are on air on the Blab? And you just click the button, and it's a little different than Tell a Little Bird. So that's a nice, cool little functionality. That's the Blab stuff. There's enough talk about Blab on Blab, so we'll move away from that quickly. Twitter. Twitter expanding past 140 characters. Would love to hear what you guys think about this. So Twitter didn't really announce it. They kind of alluded to it, that they may expand past 140 characters and tweets, and that it may be something coming in the future, but by no means did they commit to that. And personal hot take is that I think that would ruin it. I think that would ruin Twitter to a point, because the unique nature of Twitter with the 140 characters, or the limited characters at the very least, is key. I mean, for as bad as people say Twitter is right now, there's a lot of noise, a lot of advertising, a lot of broadcasting, little communication, which is what it's really designed for. That would not be good. That would make it worse, because then people are going to be able to put as much copy as they want into a tweet. I don't need to see that. I'm down with expanding it. Yeah, exactly. Definitely don't need people writing books on Twitter at all. Steve, thanks for joining in. I don't need to see that in my feed. I don't need to look at my feed, and I have the 6 Plus. Can you imagine if that's full of just words on one tweet? No, I'm not down with that. So I do think it would offer a unique opportunity for the people that do content marketing and social media marketing well to expand what they do. But the majority of people don't do it that way. They're not good at it. So I would like to see Twitter expand the number of characters, not unlimited, but I would be okay if they expanded it to like 180 or even 200. I don't think that's too crazy. When you're putting in links, when you're putting in pictures, hashtags, stuff like that. Obviously, it's adding to the characters. So the links, I don't know that when they originally created the character count on Twitter, that they were maybe thinking about links being in there and how that would work. Obviously, that came along and they adjusted a couple times. But if there was a way, maybe it's not that they expand the number of characters. Maybe it's that they make it so that the links don't have to count towards the characters, towards 140 characters. Similar to like what Facebook does. When you post a link on a Facebook post, you post the link in the status update, it populates, auto-populates with the meta content and maybe a picture, usually a picture, and the title and the meta content. But then you can delete the link out of the post so it looks cleaner. So maybe Twitter can go down that road. I would love that too, where it auto-populates with the content from the link. Twitter cards kind of handle that already, but not everybody uses Twitter cards, and definitely not the general person on Twitter, the general user on Twitter. But I agree with you, Steve, that it's it don't need people writing more necessarily on Twitter. The majority of people do not need to write more on Twitter. Run its own link shortener. Yeah, well, you know what? It would be good, I guess, but they've left that up to other people. But I think you're meaning like if you post a link and then it would just automatically shorten the link in the tweet, kind of like if you use Buffer at all, when you put a link in Buffer, it automatically shortens it to a Buffer shortened URL. That would work too. Whatever saves characters would work. Yeah. And it would save time because you don't have to shorten it yourself, right? Yeah, I mean that's another way to go. They have options, so I hope option Z is unlimited Twitter characters. That's what I really hope. Hey, John, what's up? Thanks for jumping in. Feel free to jump in the open seat here. Next up, let's talk about. Now, this is one I'm excited about. This I've already implemented it on my Facebook profile. Facebook just yesterday and really today enabled users to put a 7-second video as their Facebook profile photo. I love it. I love it. Initially, when I first heard it, and let's do this real quick. I'm gonna put, at the risk of being self promotional, I'm gonna put the link to my Facebook profile in the in the thing here, okay? And so you can see an example of what it looks like in action. So if you click on that, that's my profile. My profile photo is a 7-second video of just me kind of saying like a little quote for the day that was appropriate. Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining in. We're talking about right now we're talking about the new Facebook profiles, the photos where you can do video on your Facebook profile. So I implemented mine this morning. Not everybody has the full update yet and can do this. The link is expired. Really? Oh, I wonder if that's because it's secured. Sorry. It's probably because my profile is secured. That's right. It probably won't work. Live video stream. No, it's not a live video stream, Jamie. It's so you can do it two ways. It's a 7-second video. Sorry, Steve. It's because of my profile's on private. Probably it won't let it do it. But basically, it's a 7-second video, and you can upload it you can take it with your phone camera, and then upload it separately, or you can go in the Facebook app, and if you have the full update, it'll show you. You'll see your profile looks different if you go on your actual timeline, your profile. The photo for your profile is in the middle, so I can show you on the mobile. The photo's in the middle. It looks cleaner. It definitely looks different. You're going to tell a difference. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see this, how well you can see it. But that's my profile. That's the Wi-Fi. So I think there's a lot of potential with this. Initially, when I heard what it was, I thought it was something different. I thought it was a GIF. Like an actual GIF, you would upload a GIF as your profile photo. So with that could definitely get noisy. And it's funny because Blab just recently removed the ability to put GIF images as your profile image on here. So this is different though. This is basically like a Vine video you can upload into your profile as your profile photo. That's what people see when they go to your profile. It also posts the video to your timeline. So it's just like when you post a new cover photo on your Facebook profile, it goes out to everybody, and you're basically posting a new video, and it's going into that spot. So it has a lot of potential, I think. As I was doing it this morning, I was thinking about what I would even put in there, and at first I was like, I'll just check it out, and I did some goofy like face and messed around, but then I was thinking, we have some stuff happening at my job that everybody's kind of up in arms about about something that not complaining or anything, but just it's a new thing and everyone's asking questions, and so I just put that message out there. Steve, update the app yesterday. Didn't? Yeah, no, it's on both, Steve. It's on both. It shows up. The video shows up on mobile and on PCs and desktops and laptops. Yeah, and there's sound. there's also sound, so you can put a message in there. What I was talking to some people about it today is, can you imagine if you're a pretty well-known person, a celebrity, whatever, you can put a different message in there every week, every day, every few hours, every month, whatever it is. You can put a new message in there to people that follow you all the time. You can call out specific people and personalize the message to people. How powerful is that? Specifically on Facebook, that's a huge attractive feature. Okay, John. there's so much potential. Right now, it's just on personal profiles. It's not on Facebook pages, on business pages. That is where I would love to see it. I know for the brands that I manage, that would be fantastic. If we could put the CEO in a 6-second message, just saying, hey, what's up? Or just humanizing the brand, personalizing it, right? Steve, I agree. I mean, it would be awesome. It would be, it could be anything, you know. And how many times, if you've ever gone on Vine, some of you maybe have or haven't, I mean, you don't think 6 or 7 seconds is a long time. But if you look at any of the videos on Vine that are 6 seconds long, they get a lot in there. Some people, they edit them together. I mean, that's actually a pretty good chunk of time to get a message in there. So being that you can upload video into that rather than, you know, you can just take it with your phone too, just in that moment, real time. But you can also upload video, a video file. So that's big because that allows you to edit something that you want to put out there. And there's just so many possibilities for that. And again, for business pages, I would think it would be even better, even more powerful. Hey, Justin, thanks for joining in, man. Actually, you might have left already, but that's cool. So that's a big update. That's a big deal. It's again, a small thing that kind of they inched out there yesterday. It got some traction, but now it's rolling out to people, and people really don't notice that they have it yet. You won't know it unless you see that profile, and there's a little camera that pops up on your profile photo. It's kind of like encouraging you to click on it. So that's for me, that's really the biggest thing so far. Some of the other things that are out there, I'm just pulling up. One of the other big things was the buy now button on Twitter. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear that noise. That's just the video on the link I'm clicked on. So you see Twitter moving into an area now of really pushing people, pushing the buy now, the retail side of things. It's, you know, it can be good. It can be good. I don't know that they're doing it the right way. But brands will certainly like it and use it. It remains to be seen how many people will actually make a purchase that way. I don't know. You know, I'm a little iffy on this one. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. You know, let me put the link in here just for those that maybe haven't. You know, Twitter's having some issues. Twitter doesn't really know. Obviously, you know, they still don't have a CEO named officially. I don't know that they really know where they're going. It would be, I would love to see them name their former founder, or their founder that used to work for the company, handle the company, manage the company, become the CEO again, essentially. But the heading towards the e-commerce side of things, it's great and all. You know, like I said, brands will be into it, but really for Twitter, I don't know that that's the best approach. I don't know if that's the best way to go. They're thinking probably about the whole impulse buy side of things, and certainly that could happen. You know, I am someone that will buy something online easily. If I see it, I absolutely click on Facebook ads. They're targeting me specifically with things that I'm interested in. I'll click on them, go to the site, and buy something. I'm their demo for sure. How many of you buy stuff off of Facebook ads? And I bet there's even less of you that do it off Twitter ads. Twitter, I don't know that I've ever, or LinkedIn ads, I've never either one gone through the sponsored advertising side and actually bought anything. Yeah, I don't think most people have. It's funny because, I mean, LinkedIn certainly focuses on a lot of the B2B side of things and the marketers, but even as a marketer myself, I get the ads on LinkedIn and it's stuff that I use, and I'm not into it. It's not my thing. Hey, Jarrett.
Hey, man. How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Hey.
How's it going?
Fine. Good. I wanted to jump on here. I I love learning all this stuff all the time. So.
Yeah, man. Are you in your home office?
I am up and I had some meetings and stuff that I was just wrapping up. So I was doing some interviews today. So.
Nice.
Hey, so I heard you can upload video to the Facebook thing, right? You can do your own icon sort of stuff. I wonder if that's if they're laying the groundwork for that new feature with the iOS that for the iPhone 6S Plus and 6, where now it's got it's called live video mode or whatever. So I wonder if they're just trying to be preemptive as well, being able to do video or something like that, so.
Yeah, well, and also the fact that it's 4K video now too, on the
it is 4K
new phones. Yeah, well, on the new phones, yeah. But the Facebook one, the profile photo is, you can upload your own. So for those that don't know, Jarrett does some video marketing, video producing, and I can definitely see you taking advantage of that somehow. Pizza Slice. Who's Pizza Slice? Let's see. Do you agree? Do you shoot with Black Magic at all?
I'm not Black Magic Design. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. He just asked that question in here. I don't know what that is.
It's a camera. Camera. You know what? I have shot with it before. I think it's a good low-level camera for getting into the business, and it's kind of like a prosumer camera. So for the bang for the buck, the quality is really good, but from a professional standpoint, it's not that great. But from a consumer standpoint, it's awesome. Like the quality of the thing is super awesome. And the big thing about the Blackmagic camera is you need lots and lots and lots of hard drive space because it just eats up data. But it is a cool camera. I've shot with it before.
He asked if you're a red guy.
Yeah, I got a red shirt on. No, I know what you mean.
Even I know about the reds.
Yeah, Vincent knows about the red. Yeah. Vincent, I saw a tweet you did a while back. Remember when you tweeted like, you were on a set doing some shoot and you were like, okay, I know enough to shoot a photo of that cool looking camera. Well, I'm around those guys. Our video team here at my job. I mean, I'm around them all the time and they're always talking about cameras. And was it Red Dragon? Is that what it is? So what do they geek out about it all the time?
Oh yeah. I mean, about that stuff, they're always talking. They're huge into that, the equipment side. Nino and Eric and Jesse, they're all about it.
They're great guys, man. They know their stuff. Do I shoot on Red? Yes, I do. I shoot on Red. Red's a great format, and I also shoot on the Alexa, Amira, Arri cameras. And I also like Sony cameras. You know what? I'm one of these guys that I don't get married to a certain brand. I utilize, here's my business hat, whichever camera will help me make more money is what I'm interested in. And then I'll put on my creative hat. They're all strong and weak at different things. So as a director or a DP, you pick what the camera is best for what you're doing. So
sure.
That's the answer to that.
Well, and it's funny because I think and kind of tying it into the whole social media side of things, it's interesting how those two worlds have really collided and they're constantly coming like this towards each other. It feels like between the phones and the mobile side of things, and the just ridiculous growth over the last few years with platforms like Instagram and Snapchat, where you do want to have, well, maybe not so much Snapchat because quality on Snapchat people don't really care, but the video side of things is just ridiculous. We talked last week, Jared, about did you see about the 360 video on Facebook that they're doing now?
I did. I didn't check it out. I saw the thing. I think I read that the first promo piece was that Star Wars. I mean, what an awesome platform to kind of be preemptive out there. The big criticism, I think it's awesome. I think the criticism though was that the guy wanted like an immersive experience. You know how they're doing the cardboard, the Google Cardboard and that sort of stuff. So I think it's a preemptive step for them to get into it. I just, a couple years back, and sorry to take this on a rabbit trail, but several years ago, they did a huge social media push and marketing blitz to sell everybody on the 3D televisions. Did you buy one? I certainly didn't. I thought they were stupid.
Dude, I went and I was curious, so I went and looked at it in like Best Buy, and I put the glasses on and sat down because they had it sitting there. They wanted you to do that. And I just couldn't. Number one, it didn't seem like enough of a difference for me to spend all that money on it. And number two, I don't want to wear glasses when I'm sitting in my living room.
I agree. It comes down to that, man. It's like, get us to the technology where I don't have to wear the glasses. But what's interesting is everybody felt the same way. But what's happening is that the movie theaters were fighting to get attendance. And so they were, even from a film and video standpoint, they were shoving that down our throats of being like, hey, we'll pay for production. We'll do this, all this stuff in 3D. Our clients like ESPN were like, okay, we'll do all the shows. And it's just kind of like this ugly thing that happened that nobody really talks about now. They're just like, yeah, that was a cute little thing we tried.
Yeah, it died off. It definitely died. And even the movies, I'm trying to think if they're still, I mean, you maybe know more than I would. What's the last movie? Are they still doing movies in 3D also?
They
or
are.
Is it more the IMAX?
Real 3D. The new movie Martian is coming out tonight. They shot scenes in real 3D. You know, what happened is they got away from the gimmicky 3D. You know, it's like, let's throw a piece of popcorn at you and you jump, or the ball or water. So the way I would say that I've admired how directors are utilizing that technology, and it's kind of like the IMAX technology as well, is that they spice it in between their film to add value to it. So as opposed to it being some sort of shtick that they add onto the movie to, sell more tickets and stuff like that. So technology wise, as soon as they can get away from the glasses, 3D will be awesome. Yeah. But until that happens, I just don't see it happening.
Even in the movies, though, the movies is different than having a TV in your house. I mean, the movies, at least, you're going in, you're paying a little bit extra, and you want to see a 3D movie, and you're going to sit there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But the whole thing with paying double the price for a 3D television in your house, and then now you're going to have to buy more glasses because what happens when you have people over and you want to watch something 3D? I mean, it's just this whole thing. Yeah. The 4K is better. I mean, the high res, all that stuff that's coming down. What is it? They're up to like 8K now. That's not even out yet.
We had a release last week at a show. 16K is the max now, but 8K is the next 4K. Most of what we produce now on a regular basis is at least 4K, but ultimately the final deliverable to clients is still HD 1920 1080 or essentially 2K. Oh, but to bring it back to the 360 where we started everything, dude, 360 is super awesome. We are looking at, we've had a couple calls for it so far. And so, we're totally interested in it. Where I'm really fascinated about it is not necessarily like dramatic production, but for education sort of stuff, specifically Nat Geo, Discovery Channel type of, we're on location, and now I'm going to give the user the ability to see where they are. I mean, how cool would it be to have something essentially narrated for a viewer, but then to give them the ability to look around? And I'm really interested. I'm looking into the live streaming aspect of it. I have a client that does, one of my clients does a lot of work in Israel. And so they're going to these awesome ancient sites, and the bandwidth required to do 360 or even like high HD live streaming can all be done through tethering on your iPhone out in the middle of the desert, which is super cool. And so utilizing some cool technology. I mean, how cool would it be to get, I've seen a couple different rigs. The rigs, they have like single cameras with the dome. Have you seen those ones, Vincent? Yep. They have those that look pretty cool. And then the best setup that I've seen bang for your buck is the 16 GoPros that are all put on a special rig. I think that unit costs probably $10,000-$15,000. But if you're professionally doing it, how cool would that be? So, and I really love this immersive experience, the YouTube ones that I've done. I haven't done the Facebook one, but I would imagine it's the same. It's tied to the gyros in my phone. Yeah, dude, it's cool. It's pretty cool. I really think that's awesome. And but
good.
But I've seen a couple game trailer previews on there. I've seen a couple like live performance stuff. I don't know how it can work into a drama sort of series, like an edited, like here's a scene and here's a scene, because I find it difficult if you don't put the characters close to each other.
Yeah.
that, you know, I'm over here looking at the window and I'm missing all the action. So it's like, oh, I'm supposed to look over here. But I could see where if something was narrated like an IMAX film or something very cool like that, I mean, putting this on the bottom of a drone, like flying over something would be awesome. And as you know, what's really interesting to me is this 360 video came out almost 15 years ago. And it was this company outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. And if there's enough viewers in here that remember this company, they were called Pixelate, something like that. But they developed the technology in Flash to do a 360 experience. And it was not live streaming. It was just like YouTube is utilizing it now. But you would take your cursor and move around, and it was awesome technology. Very similar to what we see now, but it just died. It totally died. They just couldn't monetize it and it was too early. Where it really took off was their business side was selling the technology to realtors and to people selling homes and houses and businesses, that they would take this, you'd go on a video ride through the house. And then from that, you could click on, okay, I'm going to go into this room, see this and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, 360.
That makes total sense with the realtors. The realtors especially. I remember when even just the virtual tours came out, that they were like all the top real estate agents that could afford it. We're jumping all over it to do a video virtual tour.
Sorry, I'm sabotaging your social media. I'll get back to social media in a second. But dude, the funniest thing I've seen lately.
It's all related.
The funniest thing that I've gotten a kick out of this is all the realtors buying drones, and they'll, you know, because now they're getting these awesome shots above the house and to kind of show the perspective of the property and the homes and stuff like that. But there's these guys with their suits on, and they go out and they fly their drone and they get their shot. It's cool. It's nice. It's neat to see. It's just funny to me. But anyway, so
you know about Meerkat, that they have the integration on the GoPros now, right?
I have. I haven't utilized it yet. I wish that Periscope would enable some sort of feature like that. You know, as trying to get the most. Look, they keep it simple. I love that approach because 99% of the population needs to keep it simple. But man, I would love to be able to integrate higher res cameras into Periscope or Meerkat and stuff like that. And I like that gateway that it gives to the user. And so it's real awesome. Like Meerkat and Periscope for GoPro people, it's just exactly right. Cause it's like, look at this crazy, stupid thing I'm about to do. Yeah. Like, watch me. And so call 911 for me if I get into trouble. Right. So it's like,
exactly.
Sort of, yeah, I think it's a great format, man. And then LTE, it's not everywhere, but, you know, I live in a rural area and we have high-speed internet here. Our internet through LTE is faster than what we can get through the ground, essentially. And especially international, I've traveled quite a bit internationally, and it's cheaper for them to put in LTE towers and the next 4G sort of stuff than it is to spend all the infrastructure to put in copper or fiber even. So a lot of these third world countries are actually quite, I would say, almost there's more penetration of these technologies because they don't have to build it off of old technology. They just say, there isn't anything here. Let's just put in the newest, best stuff.
Are you right now where you're sitting? Do you have your Mac or whatever you're on? Do you have that hooked up to a different camera?
Yes. So I was in here earlier and I was doing some Skype interviews with some potential client stuff that I do. And so I have my Mac here. Yeah, I'll walk you through it. So I have my Mac laptop here. Through that, I have, you know, I'll put up a link later. It's called a Max-L. It's a USB 3. It basically, my computer sees this adapter as a web camera. And so I hook this thing up. There's this format called SDI, which is a broadcast standard technology. It's better than HDMI. Okay. and it's got a nice connector that works really nice. And so then that connects back to a expensive camera. And so that plugs in. And then from that camera, I have XLR running to a shotgun mic that's just shooting down here. And then I have an earpiece thing in, so it keeps kind of the noise and stuff like that. It's called so that's that sort of stuff here.
I mean, but Vincent put in there, the other Vincent that's in here. he's said thank you for asking. I was curious about that too, but like I mean I know you're doing that. It's you're obviously not on your laptop like entirely. You're doing other stuff. And then you got me who's yellow from the light that's in this room.
It's great. It's like you're in the middle of the desert or something.
You know, I'm reporting from Jordan.
I've seen some of these guys on Blab. They put like a green screen behind them, and they make it look like it's kind of like messing with Google Hangouts. Remember when you key out the background and do all sorts of stupid stuff? I'd like to do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, they have some free the Minicam, MANY. That's the one for PC. There's Minicam and Cam Twist.
There's one Cam Twist. You know, I talked to that guy at Cam Twist years ago. He's a great developer. You know, he's just a guy that kind of developed the program. I talked to him probably 7 years ago, and I said, hey man, can you add a couple of these features and stuff? And he's totally done that. I think it's awesome what he's doing. He's at a challenge now because OS 10 has migrated a lot of their code base to this El Capitan has moved to their code base to different. So he's kind of at this dividing point of what he's going to do. But it's technologies like this, Blab, and
Hangouts.
How cool this is, where people are like, give the ability to cut in video. He's super excited right now. You have to realize that this technology is amazing, but we've been trying to get people to stream for like 10 years, and the technology base has been out there. We've had Justin TV. We've had a lot of cool stuff. There's even really cool stuff now. YouTube doesn't want to be left by wayside, and so they released their new beta version of the
live stream.
Yeah, of the live stream. So that then
I've seen that in the background
stream live, which is awesome. So
I think we used, well, it wasn't through YouTube though, but at our Leaders Retreat event last year, when we had one of the speakers, we live streamed him, and it was through our YouTube channel.
Totally.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, like you said, the technology's been around for a while, but now because of these and the Wi-Fi aspect where you don't have to use data.
Vincent is really dedicated to this. I mean, you don't think that you need a lot of consistent high-speed bandwidth, and it really is only up until the last couple of years that now finally it's because of the internet speed. As much as we were wanting the technology there, when we do live streaming events for clients, I mean, we would never use LTE even at its high speed. Now we need dedicated Ethernet cables and things like that, but it's difficult. And you're like, why is it so hard to do this? And for whatever reason, it just really is. It's continuous, consistent, high speed is really what it comes down to. And the proliferation of that, we would pay for drop lines and hotels, and they would give us like dedicated T1 lines. I mean, T1 line guys. And I mean, we're spending $2,000 for a day to get just dedicated 1 meg up. And you know, that's not really high quality video. I mean, but at the end of the day, this is kind of who it's reaching. And then you do the demographic. And so you wouldn't see a lot of people tuning in for these things, and you spend all this money. And for whatever reason, this is really exciting time. Blab, YouTube. I mean, we're watching television numbers just dropping like flies. We're seeing companies like Netflix spending huge amounts of money acquiring and building their own stuff. We have Amazon Prime. These guys at Amazon have spent so much money that just yesterday they announced that they're going to stop selling Apple TVs, Google TV, and any product that does not have Amazon Prime on there. And you know what's kind of nice is a lot of people would say, well, Amazon, but you know what? Apple's been doing that for years. Probably, it's like, look, if you're not in the walled garden now, I like the walled garden. I'm an Apple fan, but when it comes to creating content, years ago, actually just until recently, we would spend thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to produce a television show like this, Vincent, and reach people and to get it on TV. And from that, nobody watched. And now I can type in here social media geeks nerd out about something and look at, I mean, we've got viewers and stuff like that. So anyway, it's kind of cool.
The key is getting people to stick around, right? And then I was talking with someone else about this as far as the sponsoring of things. You know, when this first kind of was, when I first found out about this and I started watching people on Blab, there's a lot of discussion. There's still a lot of discussion about the monetization of it. And first of all, that's very premature. But second of all, I don't see an issue with it. I think that there's huge opportunities for monetization for the individual. Like for me, if I develop an audience on here, you develop an audience on here, I could take that to even, a local business. If I get a big enough audience, I can go to a bigger company and say, I'm doing a show once a week. I get 10,000 people or 5,000 people that jump on during the hour. Does that interest you?
Totally. It totally is. I mean, and it's totally doable too, because it's they like that because it's not a shotgun approach of marketing. You can say, Vincent, you can go, look, guys, these are I know my audience. And so they love that because it's just you connecting with the advertiser. Now, here's the disadvantage to that. The way advertising companies look at, especially like larger scales, but the small ones, if you're like finding a local mom and pop shop, like how cool would that be? And if you've got an audience in Phoenix there, and I mean, I would go to the dry cleaners and the donut shops and I know where these people live. The larger pardon my language, advertisers. There we go. It's kind of like saying documentarian. I've heard that word. I'm like, no, it's a documentary. Sorry, I live in the South here. I hear a lot of goofy things. But they don't want to deal with little people. When you reach a level, it's not because I don't think you've got value. It's just I want to cut one check a month to one company that distributes the funds. And so I can see a lot of advantage of like talent agencies and stuff like that going, you know what, we're gonna not only offer talent, but we're gonna help manage all of that, so that then it's kind of like how book distributors and all distribution and everything works. They don't want to work with millions of little people. They want to work with small amounts of big people that have collected that. And that's where, I'm sure you get these emails from YouTube content guys that say, hey, we like your content. Would you, consider teaming up with us and doing this? And so then they're taking it and packaging it and going and making $1.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody else jump on. I got to roll, man. It's Friday and I've got date
thanks
night.
for joining in, Jarrett.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Good seeing you.
Social media. Yes, bring it back to that. So here's my segue back to social media. How can a person utilize this to connect with an audience, right? Okay, that was a weak segue.
I think it's all, like I said, I think it's all related. That's why I don't care that we talked about that, because it's all related. Like people that are in here, the people that are in here care about, they maybe do social media for a living, they do marketing. Vincent, I know you do social media marketing with Pinterest primarily. And he was the one that wanted to know about what setup do you have? What camera setup do you have?
Here's my passing moments before I got it literally already getting yelled at. But is this, if this is one thing that I know to be true, very true, is that quality always rises to the top. So go to, let's take, I'll pick on Apple, but go to Apple, go to the podcast section, look at the top podcasts. Before, that was kind of like this underdog. Everybody could create their own podcast, and it's a place where all of us can share. And now that they've been doing it for 10 years, look at the top 10 podcasts. They're either created by networks or large conglomerates of networks that have really rise to the top. And it's because they're consistently putting out quality content.
Right.
So with that said, your best gear is the gear that keeps you consistent. And so when I teach or talk about this, granted, quality, you would want a really nice red camera, airy camera, whatever, do a nice setup, all that stuff. But you know what? That's all secondary to the fact that if you're doing consistent podcast or video or reaching a demographic or being social, consistency is way more important. Study after study shows that. Sure. And so you connecting with an audience first, and then let the quality come with a good camera, audio, all that sort of stuff later. And, those are all gateways for a person to stick around. If your audio is bad, if your video stinks, but the if the content's good, then they kind of stick around, but they're like, man, this sounds like garbage. The guy looks like he's yellow. Like what? Like, why am I going to stick around? And so a lot of people are willing to forgive that. But as you increase your quality, then people are like, wow, I can dedicate on Vincent every Friday at time to go home from work. I can catch him on Blab, kind of blabbing about whatever. And you get weird people that wear red shirts and speak Southern with a nice camera, jump on and stuff like that. But yeah, man. So that'd be the lesson that I could pass on. And as I head out, is that all the years of doing production, original productions is like that the guys that make a lot of money in producing television shows, who they're worried about is not other producers. They're worried about the YouTubers and the blabbers out there.
Mm.
They really are. They're figuring out, they're like, how do I connect with those people? I would give anything to be 18 years old again and to have an iMac computer and not worry about all this overhead and just make amazing, compelling content that I could reach 10,000 people, 5,000 people that are all willing to give me a $5 a month subscription fee to keep producing content for them. Think about how awesome that would be. And so it's kind of like, I have several interns that work for me, and I'm always teaching them, like, guys, you literally have the keys to do anything you want right now. It's like, don't get caught up in all this focus on these sort of stuff. And, you know, naturally everybody wants to geek out and go, hey, I want the new cool toy. Yes, those are nice, but man, it's all secondary to good content, creating an audience and a connection. And so it's story matters. I can give Steven Spielberg or J.J. Abrams, I could give that man an iPhone and say, go make something. And he would make something amazing. But I couldn't give the most expensive Red camera and an entire crew. I couldn't give that to a non-talented person and expect anything good from them.
Right.
I've seen so many projects that people have had large budgets for and amazing cameras and crews, and you're just like, man, that movie was awful. That production was awful. It's because the person doing it didn't have talent. But, you know, J.J. Abrams with an iPhone can just do amazing stuff. So with that said,
yeah,
have a good week.
Agree.
I'll see you guys.
Thanks for jumping on, Jarrett.
Later.
And actually, with that, this is going to be a bit of a shortened episode just because Christian wasn't able to make it today. And my time's a little limited, so we're going to keep it short. Thanks, Vincent. Hey, man. Thanks for the compliment, dude. Another member of the Vincent Club on social media. He does great stuff. Vincent Ng, you do great stuff. I heard you on Social Media Examiner, on the podcast, Social Media Marketing World, all that. Good stuff. With that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post. We usually do some tools on the show. Let me post the links to these because Christian does these, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. I'm going to be totally honest, and it's all about transparency here on Blab. So that's tool number 1. Social action. It's I don't even know what it does. So go check it out. That's a good one. And then let's do Attentive. So attentive.com is going to be tool number 2. It's a collaboration platform. I know a little bit about this. Tool 2. Put that one in there. Hey, Sarah, what's up? Thanks for jumping in. We're about to end this one, actually. And the other tool here is Mention. So Mention is this one I've actually used. Tool 3, Mention. You can pretty much, it's almost like a Google Alerts, where it'll track what you want to track online. Hey, Dawn, how's it going? Thanks for joining in. But Mention is really good. Like I said, I've used that one. You can create alerts for yourself, and it'll send you can send emails, have an email sent to you about all the things that came through. It's a good tool. So check those out. And Christian's in there, actually. Perform a social action from Notification Center on iOS for social action. Attentive is group messaging similar to Slack. Yeah, it's a collaboration tool. And with that, we're going to cut this one a little bit shorter than usual. Usually we go maybe about an hour or so, depending on the chat. You're welcome, Steve. Check out those links. It's all good stuff. It came from Christian, so it's definitely all good stuff. Well, Dawn, feel free to check out the replay. It'll be up and running. If you want to check it out, we had Jarrett jump in, and we were talking a lot about video and cameras and 4K video and a bunch of different stuff. He's a really large wealth of knowledge on video. That's what he does for a living. So Jarrett Abart. Christian will be back next week, so you can all look forward to that, where he'll be able to talk a little bit more about certain things in detail. we'll be able to talk together about it and get y'all going. With that, we'll end this one, and we'll see you guys on Blab, and keep blabbing. And we'll let me put one more link in here. If you're not following us on Twitter yet, I have if you're a blabaholic like me and Christian, check it out. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. There's the link to the Blabaholics. Follow that account on Twitter for some of the links to the really good blabs out there, and a lot of the information, the news, the updates. Then we have a Facebook group as well for the Blabaholics. It's growing. So if you want to jump in that, feel free. We'll get you approved. So with that said,